Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm attempting a highly requested challenge, playing bishop and knight against Martin. Each game I'll add either a bishop or knight until we get checkmate. Before we start, I wanted to announce that I plan on doing a live stream in the near future, where I play against you guys, so stay on the lookout for community post with more details. Let's get started. I'm just going to move my pieces towards the center. Whoa, that was a quick response. And stay on the lookout for free pieces, so everybody towards the center. We get e5, first free piece. That is all mine. Bishop to e7. Maybe bishop d4 so I can see if I can pick up this rook. Doesn't seem like a bad idea. And immediately we're met with bishop to f6, which is a problem because now he can basically force a trade no matter where I play. I'm going to play knight to f3 and see if we can hold on to our pieces. I wasn't believing in Martin. That was my mistake. Sorry, Martin. I will believe in you forever now. We get bishop g7, which is free. And then the rook right behind it is also free. Okay, we might actually do this. Whoa, this is going to be a fast video. It's like just dawning on me. Queen to g5, free queen. Knight to e7. Okay, there's nothing free, so I'm guessing I should just go back to where my pieces came from. c5 is actually pretty darn good. And now I'm going to pick up on h7. Okay, this is an actual problem because with so many pawns that far advanced, even accidentally, he could get himself a queen. So I'm going to jump in with check. Whoops, that's not a legal move. Check. And I can't pick up this pawn, but at least I can bring my knight more towards the center. So check. King to d8, sure, why not? And I'll go ahead and set up bishop to e5. I really don't want my bishop to get trapped behind these pawns, so I might as well threaten a knight, and maybe if he moves his rook, we can pick it up as well. So bishop to e5. Bishop d7 does not allow that. Kind of in a tough spot with this knight as well because he really doesn't have anywhere to go. This is defended, that's defended, 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 and then these two squares have no future for my knight, and then again defended, defended. So this is kind of an uncomfortable spot for my knight. I guess I could just reroute it the way it came, back to f3, and I might as well expend the time doing that if there's really nothing better for me to do. So we'll start with knight to h7, knight to c6. Now I wish I'd kept my knight on f3 so I could have taken on d5. I have to move this bishop out of the way. This knight is doubly protected, so I think it's just more appropriately placed in front of the pawns now, even though I really didn't want to get to that position. We'll play bishop back to b2. We're met with check. I have 3 pieces, so every single piece is an attacking piece. We'll go up with the king. Pawn to b4. Let me threaten some pieces. We do get checked. I could walk towards the bishop and attack it with 2 pieces, or I can just let the knight take care of that. If he moves the bishop, it won't do me any good to have 2 pieces on the bishop, so I'll probably just walk my king forward now. Okay, check, that's a free bishop. Knight d7, hits the f6 knight, protects c5. I guess I'll reroute my knight to e4. No, let's go d5. Yeah, let's go d5. Okay, we're met with check, which is kind of good because it weakens this b6 square that I kind of wanted to jump into. I say weaken. Weaken is a relative term, right? If I was playing a 2200, weaken the b6 square would be a non-existent concept because he would just move the rook. But since this is Martin, and you can threaten a piece and 50-50 take it, this is a weakened square in my book. We'll approach the knight with king to e4. Ooh, super aggressive check. I only have 1 legal square to move to, so we're headed that way. d3 does allow me to capture on e5, but it doesn't allow me to keep both of my pieces, so it's really not as great as it might look at first glance. And it kind of forces king to e3, right? If I play knight to b6, d2, even if I do win this rook, promotion, and then what, resign? So I'll play king back to e3. Oh, this is bad. King to e3, knight c4. Oh, that's horrendous, actually. That's terrible. Okay, well, it's not like we really have a choice. I guess we could drop the knight back instead, but that's so passive. I don't really have many options on the table. I'll drop the knight back instead, I guess. Oh, d2. No way for the king to catch it right now. No way for the bishop to attack it. So the knight is stuck here defending d1. And even if I did want to attack it with my king, I'd have to walk all the way around. So I guess let's get to walking. King g3. Okay, queen, which is just a free pawn, basically. Knight to d3 hits the bishop. Normally not an issue, but I can't trade here. So bishop's got to go. We'll give check in the meantime. These knights are disconnected, which makes me want to come over and attack them. So I'll play king to f3. Okay, knight to e5 check, quite annoying. King to e3, we'll keep making our way over. f4, this is really interesting. This knight retroactively defends both of these pieces, and then this knight defends this piece. So everybody's actually hanging on just fine in this position. I'll move my king towards the center. King to f7. He's really baiting me into taking here, but if I make this capture and we do trade, it's going to be a knight versus all of these pieces. And even if I won all of the pieces, it'd be forced mate anyway, so I don't win anything from that. I'll drop my bishop back to h4. I have to be careful with my king in the center that I don't get forked without realizing it. Wow, I can't even get this knight out. All of the squares are covered, so we charge with the king, I guess. Ooh, check right away. Charge. Keep going. Keep charging with the king. Ah, see? It paid off. We pick up the free rook. If by some miracle I pick up all of these pieces, then I really have to show off my chess skills and brush off some heavy dust. I don't think I've ever mated in a serious game with bishop and knight. I don't even know that I've ever mated in a blitz game with bishop and knight, and I've played a lot of blitz. So I guess there's a first time for everything. I guess we can do the same strategy here, knight to e3, cover the f1 square, and then just let him walk into imminent doom. So we'll play knight to e3. Okay, he's pushing a lot of pawns, a4. Not a lot of great ways for me to catch any of those. So I'll bring the king back. Oh, knight to f4 is check, but it drops this. Let's see, if I take, there's no forks, right? There's a pawn on this square, so we're fine. I will take. g5 is free, so thank you. Okay, this is actually pretty interesting. I could take this pawn, and that would almost make sense, but it makes more sense to take the knight with the bishop. The only problem is, if he plays this right, I still can't stop him. So let's see, what if I take with the king instead? a3, bishop here, c3, and then there's still no way to stop him. I think the king is best because the king can actually follow up with taking the f3 pawn. So I'll take with the king. That is not going to cut it. I'm going to take this pawn on, ooh, am I? Let me see, takes here, knight back is fine. a3, and then there's no way to promote after bishop f6. Okay, so we'll take, stop the pawn. That is free, thank you. And now we just need to catch both of these pawns. How do I do that? King here, a3, bishop back. If a2, I stop it. So b3, and then I just take. Sweet. Cool, bishop c1, no problem. Let me come take what is mine. Thank you. Thank you. You're too kind. Knight promotion. I think this is the first knight promotion on the whole channel. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty darn sure I'm right. First knight promotion on the whole channel. Okay, now we just need a checkmate. First we charge with the king. Great. I think. Okay, we need to get him on the back rank. Okay, now we have opposition. So I'll start bringing my knight into play. Keep opposition. Keep opposition. Knight d5 covers e7. Okay. And then what's the strategy here? I really don't remember all that well. I know how to do it once he's in the corner. So that means I should know how to do it from here too, right? Let's go ahead and just centralize our bishop. Sure. King to b8. Okay, and then now we just get knight to c7. Okay, king moves over. We need to stop him from moving to b8, so bishop a7. Great, king moves over. And then we just do this little number. So, knight to d5. Great, the king keeps walking. And then I follow with the king. King to f7, and I think this is the key moment. I think I need to play knight to e7, covers these two squares, and then after I can play bishop to e3, which covers these two squares. And you can see how that forms a bit of a fence. If you include our king stopping these squares, you can see how there's no escape for him. So knight to e7, sure, king to g7. We'll play the bishop back to e3. And now we just need to walk him into a corner. So king over, check, king over. We get king to g8 in response. And then this is the tricky part. This is the part that requires a little bit of finesse. Okay, I'm going to start with bishop to c5 to stop this move, right? King to h7 is one of the only two moves. We'll play king f7 now. There's still no escape, so the king has to drop back, and then I can put my own king on g7. So king f7, my own king goes to g6, and now we're getting closer. We'll go ahead and drop that knight on g7, and now knight to e6. So this knight now covers f8, and I can reroute my bishop to h6 to better position it to actually deliver check, right? Because from here, it can stop f8, but it can't deliver check. From h6, it can do both. So we'll play bishop back to e3. Great, bishop to h6. And now I need my knight to end up, well, I guess on either of these squares, but let's go with f6. So one way to do that is f4, d5, f6. Works good enough. So we can play knight to f4, king to h8, knight to d5, king to g8, and then we just play check, king back to h8, and then mate. Sweet. So knight back, knight d5, a little check, a little tickle for the king, and mate. All right, turns out we only need one bishop and one knight to defeat Martin, which is a record low of 6 points. I think up until now, a lot of you guys have mentioned how I've needed 9 points in general, which I agree with, to defeat Martin. This is the first time we've ever gone sub 9, and we've dipped down as low as 6, which is mildly amusing. If you guys did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next one.